Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ronin's Den. As always, I am joined by my co host Steve, and we have a very special guest with us, Levi, otherwise known as Hilarious Game Master, the developer of the Legends of Kralis TTRPG. And we are starting our series where we're going to be doing a deep dive through this game. Everything you'll need to know to pick this up and play it at your table. Previous video, we touched on the core mechanic, and in this one, we're going to start looking at the different species available in the player's core rulebook. There are 15, and we're starting off with the Acires. Levi, why don't you tell us a little bit about who and what the Acires are?
So, the Acires are, right off the bat, when you first look at them, they are four-armed beings. And in the lore of the world of Kralis and things like that, they're a very hardy race, and therefore but they were also very kind of docile in a sense, but not really, I guess. But they were forced into slavery many, many thousands and thousands of years ago, and they finally broke through out of that, and they became a collective group of scattered clans on Kralis, and they are like I said, they are four arms. They have a lack of body hair. They have an interesting feature. They don't show emotion on their face. They are emotionless in that sense. But they have a speckled band of varying coloration running from the top middle part of their forehead down along their back and across their arms. That is known as the shakat. And this band is known to change color based on their emotions, getting a deeper color when they're angry or afraid, becoming lighter when they are joyful or calm. They're not very tall. They're about 4 feet, maybe 5 feet, weighing anywhere from 150 to 250 pounds. While the males are completely known for lack of body hair, the females have a single strand of thick hair, kind of like a ponytail that comes out the backside of their heads and stuff like that. They're a long-lived species. They live for a very long time. But what's interesting about them, they don't give birth like, say, a Habatu or a Kova or a human. The female gestates an egg that she produces out of a belly pocket that is then put into a hatchery, which is guarded over by hatch mothers. And after a certain amount of time, the baby Acires hatch, and it's a community-driven taking care of these hatchlings, I guess is the best way to describe them. And that's where the Acires come from. They don't give, like I said, normal birth for that. Uniquely, the Acires expect their young to be hardy and vigorous. At an early age, they literally learn how to survive on their own. As soon as they're able to see and move around very well, they start to learn how to fend for themselves, like if they had to be out in the wild by themselves. For the first year of their lives, all Acires bathe in a concoction of strong-smelling herbs, which is left to dry into an ashy gray-like powder that protects them from the sun, most predators and disease. They practice this all the way through adulthood, and when they get to adulthood, it changes colors. It can be a deep red, a black, a blue, but they never cover up their shakat because that's how they express emotion. Personality-wise, they are a hard-driven, hard-nosed species. They are incredibly loyal. They don't turn their back on people who need them, especially their own species as well. They are well known as to be played for as mercenaries, fighters, spies, and very powerful heliarchs in the world of Kralis. Shaman-like individuals. I guess druids would probably be a close enough description of them. They have their own language. All 15 species have their own language. Theirs is called the Klan. The series refer to them as the children of the lost because they don't know where their home world was because they were stolen from that region thousands and thousands of years ago. And that's really what they are as a species, right? And then all species, when you start playing a species, you get to choose from the features and special abilities. Um, a series have their most unique trait is their multiple arms. You can wield a weapon in each arm. You can wield multiple shields in each with each arm. They gain bonuses to their grappling. They gain additional strikes with medium or smaller weapons using multiple strike, an ability that we can discuss later. Um, they also have the uncanny ability to read the basic emotions of others just naturally. They This mechanically represents as both combat empathy and interaction, where they get bonuses based off of what you want to do as in a series. And then, as with all species, they get 8 basic abilities, and I can just list those for you if you want. Um, the big one is a bonus ability. They gain an additional general ability if they choose begin to start. If a player decides to play them from the beginning, they can take the ability of endurance, guardian. They are hardy. There's a scavenger ability. There's a survivalist ability. Then there's a unique aptitude, which allows them to take another species ability because they've learned how they've just somehow connected with that species. And then my favorite one is Void Lover. I don't know. I just like the concept of a void living a series that can actually move from one location to another without a void suit fairly quick.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so for people following along in the book, if they have the book, or following along on our screen, the features of the series that we get would be just to talk about them a little bit more in depth. They have normal vision. How many different types of vision are there in Kralis?
So there's normal, dark vision, or night vision, heightened night vision, and then perfect night vision, which basically allows you to see in the dark as though it was a bright moonlit night.
Okay. Their base movement is 20 feet per melee, which is good to know if you guys are playing with a tactical map, so you can set your grids up and move your tokens as you need to. Resistances, they get a +10 to the perception check versus being surprised, and sneak attacks. They also get a +10 to their horror checks. That falls in with the D100 roll under system. So, how does that +10 look when you apply it in practice?
So horror is based off of willpower, the willpower attribute. So that's your base score to not be horrified. So let's say that you have a willpower of 70. This would actually take your score from 70 to 80, making you less horrified by scenes that you would come across.
Okay. We talked a little bit about the empathic and combat empathy, where they have the ability to read basic emotions of others. And once per turn, as a simple action, a series can attempt a wits check. This gives them a +10 to their attack or defense skill per 3 wit successes. They may use this bonus only during combat and must indicate which they are going to apply the bonus to. Their interaction, a series gain a +10 bonus to the following skills, which they are the ability to read others' reactions to better manipulate the situation, convince, gaming, haggle, and interrogate. A series begin play with 2 of the following abilities. Bonus ability, endurance, guardian, hardy, scavenger, survivalist, unique aptitude, and void lover, which we talked about a little. We did the list, but let's look at each one of those in a little bit more detail. So, bonus ability, you begin play with 1 additional general ability. That does not have to be a prerequisite other than an attribute. So what does that exactly mean when you're making your character? What does bonus ability do?
Bonus ability allows you to go into the general ability section and just pick any ability. So the abilities sometimes have prerequisites of other abilities, but this bonus ability allows you to choose a specific ability in the general abilities, and you get to ignore the prerequisite of abilities, but you must have, if it has a requirement for attribute. So if you wanted silver-tongued devil, I think that's in general. It may not be. I think it has a wits score requirement of 75, but you decide that you want to try to take that. You don't, and you only have a 65. You can't take that ability. You just aren't witty enough to take that ability. But other abilities that you meet with the appropriate attribute requirements, you're more than free to take from.
So if something says, I'm just going to make an ability up here. Let's say there's regular old running as a generic ability, general ability, and then there's marathon running. Typically, marathon running would require you to have regular running. So you're telling me with that, you can just skip the regular running requirement and just take marathon running, correct?
You can direct the marathon running, yes.
Perfect. Endurance. Acires are more athletic than normal and gain a plus 20 bonus on any stamina check to avoid exhaustion. As well, the effects of forced marches, starvation, dehydration, and conditions in heat and cold. They do not suffer fatigue loss for moving faster than normal, hustling, running, or sprinting. Why is avoiding fatigue loss important? What does fatigue do for you?
In the general aspect, if you're just a straight up fighter, it doesn't matter that much to you, except for the fact that certain abilities will require you to expend fatigue, exhaustion levels, I guess, to be able to activate and use an ability for periods of time.
Okay.
And this bonus allows you to avoid exhaustion from that and things like that. But it's important that, and when you get to zero fatigue, unlike death or like health points, you instantly just pass out. You just fall unconscious. It's just you've exhausted yourself to the point of unconsciousness. And then with this one, where it says we're moving faster than normal, so we have normal, then we have hustle, which is double your movement. Then you can run, which is triple your movement, and then you can sprint, which is 4 times your movement. So just doing a normal hustle is 5 fatigue. Doing a running is 10 fatigue, and then sprinting is 20 fatigue. And you can continue to do that as long as you have the fatigue to do so.
Okay, so that could be a really potent ability if you make a class revolved around moving around the battlefield, charging, and that kind of thing.
Correct.
Guardian, you have a natural desire to protect others when you can. You can move swiftly, twice your normal movement rate to defend an ally, blocking blows, disrupting foes. You gain a plus 15 to physical defense if you are defending a nearby ally that is within double your normal movement rate. This ability can be used 3 times per day. It's pretty self-explanatory, I feel. Hardy. You are unusually hardy and immune to types A, B, and C poisons. Gain a plus 10 magic defense against one element type, earth, air, fire, water, spirit, or essence, and are immune to non-magical diseases. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory as well. Scavenger. What others see as garbage or trash, you simply overlook, you see as opportunity. This way of looking at the world has given you the ability to find hidden objects more easily. You gain a plus 1 success per 3 ranks in search skill. You also gain plus 10 to your fabrication skill. You are able to stretch what material you can use to fabricate objects to just about anything that can be manipulated to do what you want. Okay, so explain this one to me and what this would look like in practice. So are these plus 1 successes automatic?
Yeah, they're automatic. So for every 3 ranks that you have as a character, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on and so forth, you gain a bonus plus success to your search skill check. So if let's say you only get 1 success, but because you have scavenger, you actually get 2.
Okay.
At 3rd rank. At 6th rank, you would now have 3, so on and so forth. And I like to look at the scavenger ability as our MacGyver ability. Duct tape, bubblegum, and tinfoil, and you can pull off a bomb kind of concept. You know what I'm saying? Because you can use the fabrication skill to be able to do those kind of things from scrap.
All right. Survivalist gives you your clan has endured many generations through many harsh times and places. As such, you gain the skill survival for free. It also counts as a focus skill. Additionally, choose one of the following: immunity to cold environments, or immunity to hot environments, or hustle, sprint and run without paying fatigue points, or double the length of time you can go without food, or double exhaustion limits. Choose one.
So
So,
survival really breaks down into a lot of
yeah.
mechanical game elements. It really does, and it's a good ability if you want to be someone who is a survivor in the wild. I guess the reason why they're given to the series in this sense is they are the ones that will go into the harsh lands that do not produce for normal people elements to be able to survive, where the survivalist ability allows you to begin to endure those elements to survive there. So they can go longer without starvation, and starvation does have mechanical effects and things like that. And it counts as a focus skill, which is we'll talk about it more when we get to the skills. But basically, you can treat it and give it more bonus survival, more bonus points to your skill because it's a focus skill for you.
Okay. Unique aptitude. You are a unique individual among your species and stand out among the norm, displaying attributes and abilities not common among your people. You may take another species ability. So, does this mean that I could go to the species ability section for any of the other ones in the book and just choose one of the ones from that list? So, like trolls have the bone spurs one, they like get that ranged attack. Is that something I could add on to the series, or is that something? Does that mean something else?
No, that's exactly what it means.
I like that. And then the last one. This is your favorite one, Void Lover. Due to your ancestry spending a great deal of time in the void and other remote, desolate areas, you have developed a natural ability to survive within the harsh conditions of the void. For 1 turn per 5 points of stamina, you are essentially immune to the cold and unbreathable atmosphere that is the void during this time. For everybody tuning in for the first time, in fact, we haven't really dove into the void at all yet, but the void is space. Just think about it as outer space. That'll be your easiest straight line over. So the series could make very good outer space based characters. And that's everything you get with the series. Keep in mind, you get to choose 2 of these abilities when you make your character. So your series can be very different from my series, depending on what abilities we choose. We can approach the same general character build concept in completely different ways with our species. But I think that's a good place.
Just with the species abilities as within species, that you can create 16 different species of within the same species. Does that make sense? Because of the ability to choose 2 species abilities allows you to create 16 different series just from that.
Yeah, a lot of combo potential here with these characters. It's one of my favorite things about Kralis is the just vast amount of variation you can have with characters and the near limitless build concepts that you have available. But that is, I think, is a good place for us to draw this one to an end. As always, my name's Eric. I'm joined by my co-host Steve. Levi is going to be joining us for the duration of this series, where we're going to take a deep dive into the Legends of Kralis. If you can go ahead, give us a smash on that like and subscribe button. It does a huge benefit of getting these videos out in front of the people that want to see them. And I look forward to catching up with everybody on the next video.